Hello friends, today we are going to discuss Unit 6 of Robotics. Title of Unit 6 is Developing Robo. So we'll divide this unit in two parts. In first part, we'll discuss about the links and joints, types of joints, then workpiece and work envelope, and components of robotic arm. Whereas in part 2 of this unit, we'll discuss the case studies. So there are two case studies are there. There is a humanoid robo and pick and place robo. So first we will discuss part 1. So robo anatomy. Robo anatomy consisting of joints and links. Link, it is a rigid component of robotic manipulator, and joint, it is the connecting point of two or more links. Robotic joint provides relative motion between two links of the robo. So in this diagram you can observe the link and joint. Generally the base of the robo is stationary, and naming convention from base, that is first element is a link, then another element is joint, again this is a link, again joint and link. So link, it is a rigid body, it is also called as the manipulator, and joint, it is the connecting point of two links. So this is a joint 1, this is a joint 2. Naming convention starting from base, so this is a link 0, then joint 1, then link 1, joint 2, link 2, like this. So this link 0 is input link, link 1 is output link, and this link 1 is input link for link 2. This is the naming convention of joint and link. There is one question in assignment: design a robo by using link and joint. So in that we'll have to write these things. So that is about the joint and links. Then this arm geometry or robotic geometry. Each joint is connected to two links, an input link and output link. Joint provides controlled relative moment between the input link and output link. Then this part is about the naming convention. Then types of joints or classification of joints. So there are 5 types of joints are there. That is a linear joint, orthogonal joint, rotational joint, twisting joint and revolving joint. This linear joint, it is also called as the prismatic joint, which provides the linear motion. It is a sliding motion. By this red arrow you can observe this motion. Whereas in orthogonal joint, input link and output link are perpendicular to each other, they are orthogonal to each other. This is the rotational joint, which provides the rotary motion, twisting joint, which provides the twisting motion, and revolving joint. Again in revolving joint, input and output links are perpendicular to each other, which provides the revolving motion. So about the joints, that is a linear joint, that is a type L joint. Relative moment between the input link and output link is translation sliding motion. This linear joint is also called as the prismatic joint. Then second is orthogonal joint. Input and output links are perpendicular to each other, is also called as the type U joint. Then a rotational joint, that is a type R joint, which provide the rotary motion. Fourth one is a twisting joint, that is a type T joint. Fifth one is a revolving joint, it is also called as the type V joint. So these are all about the types of joints. Next we have to sketch following manipulator configuration: TRTR, it is a twisting, rotary twisting R. So this is the configuration: twisting, revolving joint. This is the configuration based on the types of joint. Next concept is a work envelope or workpiece. This workpiece we have already discussed. Workpiece means the reachable point of robotic arm or end effector. So depending on the configuration and size of the links and wrist joint, robot can reach a collection of points, and that points are called as the workpiece. Work pace may be found by moving each joint through its range of motion and combining all pace it can reach. So what is work envelope? Means suppose this is a robotic arm, it can move upward and downward. So that are the reachable point. So from starting from that upward to downward, that whole portion is called as the work envelope. In this diagram, you see what is work envelope. This is the maximum envelope. This is a robotic arm. It can move from this point to this point. So this is the work envelope for this arm. That is called as the maximum envelope. Whereas in this second diagram, it is a restricted envelope. This arm can move from this point to this point. So it has some limitations on upper angle and lower angle. So it is called as the restricted work envelope. That work envelope is also called as the work pace. This is operating envelope. This portion is only operating work envelope. This is all about the work pace and work envelope. Next, we will discuss about the robotic arm. So in order to discuss this robotic arm, we have to compare this robotic arm with human arm. In exam, we have to draw only this robotic arm. There is no need to draw this human arm. This is just for your understanding. So if we compare this robotic arm with human arm, then this is a shoulder joint, elbow joint and wrist joint, which is analogous to human arm, and these are the end effector. So this portion of human arm is end effector, that means fingers. That is also called as the gripper. So that part is end effector. This shoulder, that is a revolutionary motion, it is provided. Then elbow joint and wrist joint. So components of robotic arm, it consists of sensor, end effector, drives, controllers and arm usage. So sensor it is used to measure some physical parameter. So sensor is important part of this robotic arm. Then end effector, that is also called as the gripper. The end effector acts as a hand of the robotic arm. It can open or close on command. So like human finger, it can also spin on the wrist. Then drives are required between joints that control the movement. They typically use belts, that is conveyor belt, like that. So that drives are required for operation of this robotic arm. Then controller, that is the brain of this robotic arm. Controller are the main processor of the robotic arm and acts as brain. They can either act automatically as program or allow for manual operation. Depending on the application where we are using that robotic arm, controller design varies. Then last part of this robotic arm is arm. Arm is the main section of the robotic arm. It consists of three parts, that is shoulder, elbow and wrist. These are all joints with the shoulder resting at the base of the arm, typically connected to the controller. So this shoulder joint is connected to the controller, and robotic arm from the shoulder. It is shoulder, elbow and wrist, and shoulder joint is connected to the controller. That's why in this diagram controller is not shown, only this robotic arm is shown. So this shoulder joint is connected to the controller. This is all about the components of robotic arm. In next lecture we will discuss about the case studies. There are two case studies are there, so that we will discuss in next lecture. Thank you.